And I feel like I'm about to sneeze, which is very unhelpful. But yeah, bye. Hope you guys are doing well. How is your Saturdays? Hopefully your respective Saturday is going well. And did I? No, I did not pick that up off the ground. Yeah. There you go. There. But yeah, hi, I have tea, which, yeah, I'd put it in the microwave for a minute, so it's probably too hot for me to try and drink right now, so I'll have to wait like another 20 minutes or so, you know, I don't burn my face. Because I very much like my face and kind of need it for things, you know. Also, let's turn that up a wee bit. So it's not deafening in my ears. But hopefully it should not be too loud for you guys. But yeah, what are you guys up to? Hopefully, relatively chill day so far. Not terribly much on my end, as you can see. At least partially see, because everything is in the goddamn way. Gonna be spinning floof on the wheels. Hey, Caledon. How goes? Just got started, so I suspect there are not terribly much in the way of folks yet. But how goes Saturday? Presume you just got started, so... Well, just got up, rather. But you know what I mean. And let me close that. I was trying to get off on time today, but I actually knocked this whole thing down and then had to quickly pick everything back up and make sure nothing broke. Which, thankfully, nothing broke. Or else I probably would have cried. Oh, also, general update for anybody who's happened to be here yesterday. I'll probably mention it again later, so... asked Amazon what the hell was going on when they charged me for a thing that they damn well know they have already. And it turns out apparently something's going wrong with whatever's supposed to be keeping track of that sort of thing. Gotta finish Simon A for an online class due in a few days, but I want to get it done early. Okay, good. I'm like, Lisa's not waiting till the last minute. I sometimes did that, but usually I try to get it done, like, as soon as possible, but not always. I don't miss classes. I mean, I enjoy the learning things, but not the whole pressure of tests and that sort of thing. Minus that part, the things were interesting. What was I saying? Yes, Amazon. Amazon refunded me my money a lot quicker than I expected. Probably because it just got sent their way, so they might have just kicked it back. Who knows? Because I had returned something, which they knew that it was there too. It just wasn't being denoted in the system, which I'm actually still curious if it's still saying it's in transit, even though I had sent this over a month ago. This was the middle of August. So I'm just like, I'm very confused. I would like to know what the heck's going on. There, I just want to check if the thing is actually been marked, because I feel like there should be a way to do that manually. I don't know. I don't work for them in that capacity. Yeah, still says it's in transit. They kicked me back my money, so I'm kind of like worried that it might just try to take my money again. Which, I swear to God, if it tries to take my money again, I will punch someone. Anyhow, yeah. So, that's fixed-ish, I suppose. But, general thing for today. Oh, yeah, because I was adjusting this with the wrong camera. Like a doofus. So. That was the wrong angle. But, yeah, we're going to be spinning more sparkly floof, which... Actually... Let's see... Image... I figured... Browse... Unload images, blah 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 blah... I meant to do this before I got started, but I got behind. Because of course I did. Where is it? I know I put it up here. I'm remembering oh wait, yeah, that's gonna need to Get open so things update. Also, what kind of assignment is it, if you mind me asking? I realize I'm in ramble mode. Hilariously, I've not had caffeine yet, so that amuses me. And it's just me bouncing around from thing to thing, because I am like that sometimes. Let's see. Gonna open this thing. See if stuff updates like it should. Yeah, it looks like things are starting to update. Come on. Yeah. I know it's one of these last 10 or so images here. I think it might be that one, but I can't tell. Because they haven't loaded up yet, because this thing be annoying. I wonder. Let's see. Sort by. Let's see. Date. Okay, still hasn't loaded. Alright, I'll just wait for that to do the thing and come back to that later. Had to sketch a bunch of user interfaces for an elevator. Elevator at 10,000. Oh, Jesus. So highly unlikely, but, you know, could work in some real-time situations to a degree. Sort of thing, which makes sense. That's usually how college stuff works. Alright, so I have to wait for that when I want to put the picture on later. Fairy! Holy crap, thank you for that sub! Hi! Let's see. Do I have the pen? Pen should be over there. This is why I try to keep these things organized. But I appreciate you. Alright. Holy, what are you doing? Thank you. Crap. Well, this is my morning. How are you doing? Hope everything is well. Enjoy your lurk. Well then, I guess I'm writing down names. I very much appreciate you and enjoy your lurk. Where are we going? So, let's see, to the face cam. Also, that puts us very close to halfway to how many points we need for the last tier 1 emote slot. So, that is very much awesome. Alright, let's see, who did we get here? Sock Wizard, Stacy, Bean, Alley Cat, and Felix. Alright, cool. Okay, so I guess that's trying to catch up then. Let's see. Okay. Also, this means I'll be spinning the sub wheel, it looks like, a bit today. Which, let me open that up for now. I also downloaded the entire run of podcasts again. Which podcasts? Which, that reminds me, I eventually need to get back into Welcome to Night Vale. I say this every time, and then it's just like, I don't do it. I have it on Stitcher, so it's like I can listen to it anytime I want to, but I have not gotten to that. Let's see, Blue Geo Bean. I know it's Alley Cat. Cat, oh yeah, I forgot the S. Put an S. Corner. And then Felix. Am I gonna try? Yeah, might as well write Felix's whole name. Lizard people. All strange people started conspiracy theories, believe them in some capacity. That has to be interesting and also highly frustrating. Because I'd probably just want to argue all the live long day. Alright. So, let's see. So, let's spin the wheel for fairy wings. Let's see what she gets. Oh! She gets a sticker. You're the first person to get a sticker from me. I'm gonna have to poke her later. Alright, so... sticker. Which also this presses upon me to buy envelopes. Oh god. Imagine if it keeps landing on this. But that's hilarious. The first time I spin the wheel and it lands on the new thing. Because of course it did. The show's pretty optimistic and not kind of... Huh, okay. Not what I expect for those sorts of things, but... cool. And 500 floof for Sock Wizard. Alright. So I usually make sure these things are evenly weighted. Oh! I forgot that shows up on the bottom. Alright, so next wheel spin. This one for Stacy. Which I know she's... last time I checked she was still streaming. Because she's doing the Steven West pattern thing. Okay, give her 500 floof. Let's see. Blue Geobean. 1,000 floof. Ooh. And then Alley Cat's Corner. But yeah, a good chunk of these is floof, which is actually pretty convenient for me, so all I have to do is put the points in the thing. Which floof is stream currency, so... oh! Let's see. Alley Cat, holographic sticker. It's a good thing I put these on as rewards things on here. Alright, and last spin for Felix. Eventually, if they show up in here at some point, I will probably ask them what colors they want. Alright, that's 500? 500 floof. So, 4 out of 6 of you guys, I just need to put in the floof, so that works out. But yes, thank you very for that sub, and also for gifting those subs. I very much appreciate it. If any of you guys happen to be in here, totally feel free to enjoy all of those emotes, and also not being subjected to ads in here for the next month. And enjoy your time here, as always. So let me go back over here to where the floof is, and then I will add you guys' points in here, and then it'll be time to start spinning. Alright. Let's see. Yeah, it's better I type in the names because there's a stupid amount of people in here. And I mean that in a good way. Let's see. Sock Wizard. Also, at this point, I need to maybe have, like... well, I technically do have a remote keyboard, but I kind of don't like the way it types sometimes. I've had that for quite some time. Alright, 500 for Sock Wizard. So... submit there. Next person. Stacy. Let's add your floof. Alright, did I... no, I put 2 S's accidentally. There you go. Because it's not going to find anything if I suddenly put 2 S's. That would be useless. Alright. 500 for her, so that makes 800. Won't be able to see chat briefly, but I should be able to get this done rather quickly. Blah 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 blah, blue geo. Alright, let's edit that. 1,000, so I just need to add a 1 up top. Alright, and Felix. Alright, that's another 500, right? Cool. And come on. I need you to do the thing, please. Thank you. There we go. And we're all set here. So that should have us all set to get back to the floof spinning. Alright, we're good. So now that's all settled. I do need to ask them for colors, but now that I've done everything I can do right now, unless at least one of them pop up in here, which would be hilarious. Alright. Let's see. Yeah, this is right about where I'd left off the last time, because I hadn't bothered to spin any further. Because I've been busy working on commission sock, which I finished first sock yesterday. I just need to, not yesterday, this morning rather. I just need to weave in some ends, which that shouldn't take me too long, and start casting on the second sock. But I figured you guys didn't want to see me knitting, you know, ribbed for like a while, so that's why I'm doing the floof spinning. Although I arguably could be doing sub-squares, because I have at least 6 more to do right now, so that is also a thing. Also, I think, yeah, that might help a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit. But I can also do the thing. Okay, the gain's not all the way up, so that's interesting. Alright, cool. Turned it down a little bit more. And we should be fine for now. So, is tea now warm but not too warm? I hope so. Also, this is not pulling in a little bit. Let's add a little bit more tension, but not too much. Okay, that feels like a little bit too much. A little less. Nope, not enough now. But also, what speed this is going at? Yeah, I can nudge it a little bit closer to 2 and that should be fine. That's better. I don't want it tugging too hard because the yarn's going to end up breaking if that ends up being the case. Especially given I tend to spin about sock weight, although I'm trying to spin a little bit thicker. But I know once I start going in autopilot, my hands are going to start doing sock weight yarn. Also, let's see if I can add that picture I wanted to add before. I would continue spinning while trying to do that, but that would probably not end well. Alright, that, and then... Oh, it was already... Let's see. Yep. Add the image. Okay, where the hell is it? I know it's here, because that's where I put it. It's like weirdly organizing itself, and I don't know. Okay, there it is. Yay! Gotta wait for that to do the thing. Ah! Why? Who told you to cover my entire screen? Transform. Alright. And then make that even smaller. I need that to be small so you can actually see the things. Whee! Alright, cool. So yeah, that's basically the 4-plied version of the yarn that I've currently spinning, which is a little bit extra because I had stuffed the bobbin way too much compared to the rest of them, plus the yarn kind of curled on itself because that yarn was going in the opposite direction of the rest of them, which I knew it was possibly going to kink up a little bit, but it did slightly more than I expected, which was annoying and not fun, but the yarn still looks good. What's that? The extra from that bit I'm going to apply to itself and give that to somebody. Since it's not a ton, but it's enough that it's like at least a little bit that could, you know, potentially go in a scrap project. Plus, considering I have this and the rest of the Batt to spin, I certainly will not be lacking missing that little bit of yarn. So, I figure why not. And that's better. So, general thoughts today. It's not been the most interesting day, which I don't mind. I will take not interesting over interesting any day of the week, because I think in the past year and a half or more, I think we've had enough interesting to last us our lifetimes. So, yeah, chill day is always a nice option to have. Also, it's maybe going a little bit too fast for me. Also, yeah, I'm definitely spinning about sock weight. Oops. So, a little nudge that down. And let's draft the spit in my hand. Although I don't think there's any sort of fiber that's really gonna fight me on the drafting portion here. Because there's some of the fiber in here is a bit stubborn. So I kind of have to pre-draft it quite a bit to get it to do the thing properly. But that's more of the, what's its face? The Lester locks. Which I think that's in another, or at least the last bit of the Batt that I have hanging out in the plastic bag. Come on. You can do the thing. Yeah, this might actually be going a little bit too slow. So yeah, that's definitely better. Also, yeah, I was checking the CFT. No longer. Okay, a little bit warm. Not too warm that it, you know, I'm gonna burn my tongue, but just a tad little too warm, so I can probably wait maybe another 5 minutes before I can full on drink that. Although it does have some warm spices anyway. So that's probably nudging that along as well. Given how everything is, unfortunately I can't really have like my hand and this going on at the same time. Come on. There we go. Whoops. I need you to not do that. Gently. Oh, so I may need to check on something for a second, so I'll be right back. Nothing serious or anything, I just need to check on a thing. Just occurred to me. Alright, so. Also, Be Right Back screen has Plinko and drop games. They're invisible until you play it, so you can do exclamation point. Alrighty, and I'm back. Sorry about that. But everything is cool. I was thinking it was just a little bit too quiet, so I would check and make sure my there wasn't destroying things. Thankfully it was not. Man, I love the sea, and I will be sad once it's gone. Because it's Australian tea, so no way well, I could order online feasibly. But more than likely than not, I will probably not, at least not immediately. I made the tea before and it felt a little weak, but I think because I didn't let it steep for as long as I normally would like it to steep, that is probably why it tasted a little bit off. That, or maybe I put a wee bit too much milk in there. One or the other. Lighting would be really great if you would make up your mind. Like, very much. Alright. And that also means I'll need to adjust that bit of the... Yeah, the white balance just a shade. Yeah, because it's coming off a little too yellow. I think it's just a bit cloudy out there today, so... Once there's like breaks of sun, it makes things very annoying for me to keep the lighting not look like garbage. Alright. I think we can move this hook now. Also, and things I didn't realize until the stream was over, I didn't realize we were in the art category until the stream ended yesterday, and I was just like, that explains things. Because I feel like when I'm in the art category, I tend to get a little less traffic, but I had said I was I was working on the sock, so, It could have been yesterday was just gonna be a quiet day regardless, so, stuff happens. But I was just amused. I was doing art on Wednesday, so I guess I've forgotten to change my categories. When I'm doing the yarn stuff, I typically try to stick into makers and crafting. So I feel like that usually makes me a wee bit easier to find. But yeah, either way. Did make good sock progress. Which I did not get to touch the sock for the rest of yesterday. Which that wasn't intentional, but I immediately started reading the book series I'm reading. Which I finished through the second book out of the 5th out of that one. So 3 more. Although I might wait till tomorrow to start that 3rd one. Because there were much intense things, so I was just like... But I do wonder how they're going to stretch it out into 5 books. Hopefully I don't overdo it. Because there's only so much action one can take until, you know, things hit the ceiling. So, that's one of those things I tend to worry about. Alright. probably in a little bit need to get another piece of fiber, which I have a full strip. This is just a piece out of that entire strip. So that's only going to take me a second, so I have the rest of the strip in a plastic thing nearby. So you don't have to get up as needed. Plus I realize I tend to go through these rather quickly, so I figured probably more inclined to keep it nearby. Also, I've been keeping up with well, I guess kind of my makeshift Drawtober thing. I don't have like a prompt list or anything, I just draw whatever comes to mind. I think I've had 2 of them where coffee was involved, although one was like a girl going past a coffee shop or whatever. And last night's was just me drawing a coffee press, which I think I did alright, but could be better. But yeah, this would be day 9, right? Yeah, this would be day 9 out of the month. I can't believe we're up to day 9 already. That means literally a month. The month is almost a third of the way being done as of tomorrow, which is like, how'd that happen? We just got to October. What is this? But I feel like that's the whole trend for at least this year. The year has just been like sweeping by without a care in the world. Like, can things slow down? No, they cannot slow down. In some ways, that's both good and bad, so, yeah. Come on. Come on. There we are. Alright, do I need to move this hook yet? I think so. Let me, after this little bit, stop. Nah, maybe a little bit more. Also, yeah, let me take off that next strip while I'm at it, so I don't forget and wait until I get to that last puff, which is almost all of this pink stuff, which this is a little bit slippery, so I think that might be my fake cashmere. At least I'm inclined to think that should be the fake cashmere. So, here's another strip. Which this one's kind of thin, so I might actually have to, during the break, get the Batt and then get another strip from there, maybe? Because I feel like I'm going to probably go through this one actually quite quickly. Which I usually don't, because I've been having like thicker pieces, but given, you know, I'm near the end of this whole Batt, the second one specifically, I'm not tearing as thick the strips on there. Also, it's kind of nice to be spinning from Batts because, like, you don't really, unless you're planning to have, like, certain color changes or whatever, it doesn't matter how you tear it. Okay, I just want you to draft a little bit. Thank you. Ah. I'm trying to draft and the things already got twisted in there. That's smart. Oh geez, it's already getting that bright. The gain is like halfway down, man. It should not be looking this bright here. Well, actually, no, not halfway. And let me try not to adjust things while at the same time spin, because that usually doesn't go well. Felix, hi! Can I get a color from you? Because you got gifted a sub. So, what kind of color you want? Also, oh wait, no. Okay, you got floof. Cool. And there's two people that got stickers, so I need to ask their address. Also, hi. How is your Saturday going? Hope all is well. Well, rather your Saturday evening, since you're a bit ahead of me. By like 5 or 6 hours. If I'm not mistaken. Alright. No longer blindingly sunny, so let's turn that gain back up. Alright. I am here spitting some floof, which that is the resulting yarn that I did, which that's a 4-ply. That was the first time. Yep, that happens. Usually it defers to anybody who happens to be, you know, here. But I think it'll start going to offline people once that quota's filled, I believe. I believe it's how it works when gift subs get thrown around. That, or is that random? I don't know. But yes, congratulations on the sub. I'll take blue. Cool. Actually, to note, we've got a couple of colors in, because I bought like a couple of solid colors. So I have a sky blue, if you want it. Alright, and this is starting to get lukewarm. But yeah, it happens. Let's see. Yeah, let's turn the light back on. Wasn't sure if I should. But... and turn the gain a little bit down so it doesn't wash out everything too much. Come on, please. There we are. Awesome. Yeah, she generously gave a couple of subs, which was highly sweet of her. Luckily, I had not started spinning yet, so I wasn't like, wait, what? I wasn't that caught off guard, but I was certainly caught off guard, I'll tell you that much. In a good way. Alright. Let's attach a new piece, because we finished that piece that I had in my hand before. Which I knew that was likely going to happen. And we had already gotten to the pink portion, so... alright. And then, yeah, definitely time to move this hook down. Which we're getting close to the back side of that bobbin here. Each given I'm trying to spin a little bit thicker than my normal. Only like a little bit thicker, not terribly thick, but we'll see what happens. I know there are definitely some thin bits going on here, so it's probably gonna be like maybe a little bit thick with some thin parts in there. So, we'll see what happens. Although I don't intend to 4-ply this bit, I am probably going to do a 3-ply. 3-ply or chain ply? Probably chain ply. Oh, so that's more, yeah, it's more of a coral, but the camera's acting weird about it. so I can't really do that much about it. There. Yeah, even then I'd probably just have to turn the saturation down to get it to really behave. And I don't feel like doing that because that's going to take out what makes these colors very, very interesting and noticeable. A good chunk of these are a bit of neon, which is not my usual color palette, but I'm enjoying this a lot. And what have you been up to today so far? Oh, so I'm talking a mile a minute because caffeine. Specifically black tea in this case. Come on. Uh-oh, that's a little bit thin. I have to be careful there. Oh, and that also reminds me, I don't think I turned on GiftBot. I've been here nearly an hour and I just realized I didn't turn on GiftBot. Great! That's helpful. Some parts for... Oh, nice. I've never made a cardigan, but I have a sweater currently on needles. It's been on the back burner because I've been pretty much busy with commissioned socks. And I'm finally getting a fucking move on and shop stuff, pretty much. Which I might start knitting more dish towels to see if I can add more photos to listings. See if I can drum up more interest. So I'll be semi-lurking because it's resting on my... No worries! Lurk away. I very much appreciate the lurk. Plus, I'm probably going to go on break in about 8 more minutes. Just wait for it. I know I connected you, so let's see. Currently talking to GiftBot, so I think it's just taking a second maybe. Because I know I'd connected everything, and it was working yesterday. So, oops. That was a bit thin. Unhandled error occurred. That's weird. Hello? GiftBot? There it is. Yay! That was weird. Ugh. Wonder what happened. Alright. So you guys should be able to throw on the gifts if you'd like. Which I do have some list of gifts I think I want to add to the thing at some point, which I hope I might be able to get to working on tomorrow, maybe? Possibly. I don't know. No guarantees on that. Because for the most part, I'll probably be mostly staring at sock and seeing how far I can get through the leg chart, because honestly, it's mostly the leg chart that takes most of my time and patience. Just because. Which, even though it's 60 rounds, it's a lot of cables, and plus, knitting a sock inside out is a lot. Plus the whole stress of sock madness being attached to that particular pattern probably does not help. But I do want to get this done because a friend of mine commissioned me these, so I do want to get the socks done. And given I'm on sock 2, I might be able to push my momentum to get myself to haul some ass, and maybe potentially, if not by the middle of this month, by the end of this month, get those out finally. There was no, like, time limit on these, but it's like, I try not to keep friends waiting too long. Plus, she knows I knit stuff for shop things, so I imagine she's like, she'll get to it when she gets to it. But it's probably more self-imposed expectations and all that jazz that is probably perpetuating this. Because I always feel like, hey, if I don't get it done immediately, I suck. Also, it's getting a little bit dark again. Also, I really wish I could pick up this color and get it to not show so weird. Although, this camera is always going to be weird about certain colors anyway, so... What can you do? Oh, sorry. I will say it forever and ever, but I am in love with this foot pedal. Foot pedals are awesome. Although, I try to be a little bit careful about how hard I press on this thing. Because I know if I press too hard, this thing will probably break. Plus, you can always use the speed control dial instead of the foot pedal, but the foot pedal just makes life a little bit easier because it makes things hands-free. Alright. There we go. Because I spun a little bit thin in there. Come on. There we go. That's a little bit better. My consistency is probably a little bit iffy in some places, but, you know, not terrible. Like I said, there's some thin spots that I accidentally did, not intentionally meaning to. Just more of autopilot decided to take over, which is very much not helpful when you're trying to spin thicker than what your normal is. Alright. A little bit more, and then I'm gonna take my first break. Uh-oh. That's about to come off. Alright. Come on. Da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-dum. There we go. Ow. I'll always hit a little bit more and I just continue to spin. Yeah, probably a tiny bit more. Ew. Excuse me. Really do need to dust off this bookshelf. I just really don't feel like dealing with it. I say this every time I sit over here and I end up sneezing. Thank you! Let's see. Yeah, here's probably a good stopping point. So let me do the thing. And yeah, stop right there. And I'll need to tear another strip anyway. I'll tear another piece off the strip. That one's almost done too. So let's see. Take this bit, put that there, and probably leave this in the bag I have here. And I'll be taking my first break. I'll be back in about 10 minutes, give or take. So definitely get up and stretch if you need to stretch. I just want to make sure the thing has finished counting down. It was weirdly off by like 30 seconds where I pressed the button and where the pre-roll off panel thing is on the top part of the screen. By like 30 seconds. It's really, really weird. Anyway, hi, I'm back. Let's see. Tore more floof. Made sure to bring the bat over here so I wouldn't need to get up to grab another piece. And I think we're all good. Actually, where's my water bottle? It's around here somewhere. Ah, I was like, I knew I had it near my foot. I finished my tea, so basically it's water for the rest of the day for me. Which I'll also need to refill this thing. Alright, cool. And let's see. We're all set here, so do I need to? No, I don't need to attach yet, so let's get back to our floof spinning time. And hopefully I don't knock anything over. Which, for anybody curious, I have no idea what this yarn will be. Well, actually, I'm thinking maybe I could put this into that half granny square shawl, which I have is like sitting in a bag on my door. Because I added, what's that, the Corridale? But I might take that off. Because I feel color speaking, it doesn't really match. Although I imagine this might not match either. But half granny square shells are pretty much good for, like, say, yarn you don't know what to do with, or scraps. Because you basically can just keep going until you can't go any further. Plus, I like my shawls to be large anyway, because I wear my shawls like scarves. That's usually the only way I wear shawls anyway. So, that works out really well. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. Plus, half granny square shawls are nice, like, not something you have to think about projects either, so that works out well. And OBS, why the hell are you freaking out on me? Luckily, that was a brief freak out. I just saw it hit red and I was like, oh no, please don't. But luckily, it just shot right back into the green. So that must have been a little blip, maybe, of the internet, potentially. Because that can happen. And yeah, we're gonna get really, we're almost at that point. I need to start attaching next piece here. Which that's happening a lot quicker just because A, we're nearer to the end of the bat, and also B, this is again, thinner than what I normally put on here. Because normally I feel like I only get to, like, through about 2 or 3 of these pieces in a stream. I think because these are thinner, plus I'm trying to spin a little bit thicker, that's allowing us to go just a wee bit faster. Which I'm hoping this is about similar thickness to the 4-ply, which the 4-ply was actually maybe a very heavy fingering weight, which is very, very weird. Normally, I spin like 40 wraps per inch, which, hold on, I have my wraps per inch tool, but I usually spin like the thinnest that I have on this thing, which is 40 wraps per inch, so I would suspect that, you know, that would end up being, you know, thicker than a fingering weight, so I must have somehow been spinning a little bit thinner than my normal weight somewhere, which is interesting. I could be wrong, but it was about, say, 16 to 18 wraps per inch, but that's still about soft weight, if not, yeah, definitely heavy soft weight. So it might just be really close to, what's its face? Not DK, sport weight. Yeah, because it's sport, then DK, if I'm not mistaken. Because those are the two I get mixed up because I don't use a ton of it. I either am using sock weight for socks or worsted weight for stuff like, say, hats and things of that variety. And the dish towels. Dish towels also worsted weight, although that's arguable on whether or not it's actual worsted. Because that stuff is spun a little bit tightly, so that's more, again, closer to, like, say, about just under worsted, so about a DK. A little bit more, also. I feel like there could use a little bit more twist. Let's pull this back out. Let that get a little bit more twist in there. That's better. Given how colorful this yarn is, I have to have like a neutral background in order for the colors to really pop when it comes to taking pictures, especially on phones, because, you know, it's hard to adjust well enough in order for it to come out looking close to what it actually looks like in person. In other words, cameras and colors are very weird. Which is like you usually have to get like the good camera to get more color accurate photos. And it's like, unfortunately, do not have that sort of money to throw around to be like, hey, let's spend $500 or so for this nice camera. Although that's probably like middle of the pack for a good camera. I don't know, I could be wrong. Yeah, like $500-700. Maybe. Alright, also I think I need to move this hook. There we go. Alright, let's move this back. Yeah, we're definitely gonna make it to the back side at least. No clue if I'm gonna get back forward to the front by the end of the 3rd hour. More than likely not, which that's completely fine. This is like my chill project, given I have no immediate plans, like I said, other than the half granny square shawl. That is about it when it comes to this yarn, so this is not an immediate need for me. So I can do the spinning for this whenever. Plus, this is not heavy on my concentration. Just, you know, don't spin too thin and make sure the yarn doesn't break. Are pretty much my main objectives. Floof was restocked. Woo! How much floof do I have? I don't need it, but I like to bet it. Just because. Also... Uh-oh. Oh, it would help if I actually type in the thing. Just a small thing. Oh wait, yarn. Done. I did the thing to Batt, not to check my thing. There it goes. Alright. Oh geez, 1,000. Well, I've been streaming, so that makes sense. Let's bet it all and see what happens. Ta-da! There we go. Alright. Also, my arrow socks have developed a hole in the heel, and I'm sad. I need to weave in that bit. I will probably get to that at some point. Felix! Oh, you're feeling lucky, I see. After that last win. You're not guaranteed the win, you know. So, just be forewarned. Also, I still want to figure out if I can do a thing about, say... Damn it, I lost the thought. That's great. So I was thinking about a thing and then another thing came to mind and it just canceled out the thought. And it's like, why? I needed that. No risk, no fun. Fair enough. Plus this is virtual. Oh yeah, I was thinking about figuring out how to get the thing to be able to give points to everybody. Not everyone, but, you know, you guys to be able to give currency to each other. I need to get that to work. So I would really love that to work. And it's getting bright again. It was really not helping this pink color here on the end. Although, luckily, I'll hopefully be able to cover that bit at some point so I can stop being bothered by that on the camera. Like, it really bothers me. But more so when it's bright, because it's more staunchly noticeable. If the light isn't too bright, then it stops being an eyesore to me. Okay. Whoops. Come on. Alright. Do I need to move the hook yet? I think so. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know why I was thinking I was back there. Because once I start building the thing too high, it starts spilling back, but luckily it doesn't have much further to go to sometime near the back of the bobbin, so it's not as much of a problem. Although it's slightly an annoyance when I'm trying to wind the yarn off here. Careful. Also, let me grab that other piece. Nice! Felix, you are stacking up the floof today. You should get yourself a lottery ticket or something. Come on. You were not expecting the win, were you? And given I reset the points earlier this month, you probably have the most floof currently. I would have to check, but I think you have the most floof currently out of everybody here. I believe, even including the people that have, you know, gotten floof out of the sub-wheel spinning. Let's see. Ba-ba-da-ba-da. Where are we? Currency. Why am I always having a terrible time being able to find that damn thing? Oh, wait. Yeah, that would help. Because I hadn't cleared your name off of here when I was adding the floof earlier. Alright, so points. Yep, you have the most floof currently. Nice going. Yep. The bot is kind, but I have it set at like, I'd say 50. Although subs have a slightly higher chance of winning. So that helps too. What are the chances, anyway? Mini games. Let's see. Oh wait, viewer chance. 60, 65, 7, yeah, 75% chance of you guys winning. So you're more inclined to win. I would put it at 50 because this thing tends to be very grouchy at like 50. And people tend to lose a lot, so I had to keep it at like, say, 60 and up. So 75 is probably the highest I'll ever put it. Just to avoid it being, you know, more like a guarantee rather than, you know, a risk. Also, I'm gonna ask Dever if I get the chance how she does the thing to give points, because I imagine that's a thing in Deepbot where you can like put some command work in there and it should do the thing, but I'm not sure if that would translate over into Streamlabs bot, because there is a code from UnkBot, which is what Streamlabs is based off of, that I copied in here, but it doesn't do work correctly. I don't know if I'm putting the wrong parts in, but yeah, it's not working how I want it to, so who knows? Alright. Oh, so another thought. Not sure. Like, I was thinking about this first thing this morning, like I was half asleep still. But I was honestly pondering maybe I might cut back, like, to 3 streams a week rather than 4 in the upcoming year. I don't know. Again, this is, like, not even gonna be anything that factors in until next year. So don't worry about it, but it's just a thought. Not that I dislike my current streaming schedule or anything, but it's one of those, probably would not hurt if I streamed any less, honestly. That, or maybe turn, like, one of the days into, like, maybe twice a month I'm actually on during this day, so slightly less streams, but not terribly much. But at the same time, I don't want to do anything that's too confusing to the schedule, so I don't know. We will see. I will think on that and give myself some time to figure things out on that end. Kenwood, hello. Yeah, because this is some very, very colorful yarn. How are you doing? How is your Saturday going? Hope all is good. I'm here spinning some fiber here on this spinning wheel. Which, this is not my usual inclination color-wise, but I am enjoying it. Which, that's the actual yarn in question over there on the lower left-hand corner. Which, this is a Batt, so it's a blend of stuff. I work with the health department and involved vaccine clinic. Ah! Met some nice people working there. Aw. That is definitely great. Also, I imagine it's probably crowded in there. I mean, as in, like, busy with people coming in and all that stuff. At least I would hope so. Now just kind of vegging. That is totally cool. Well, hopefully I can supply some nice cozy vegging entertainment as I sit here and blab about things and spin fiber. Aren't always busy. If people want a vaccine, they can get it. Ah, that's fair. That's fair. But I'm guess that's just a metro government's effort. Ah, okay. That makes sense. But I know some areas it might not be, you know, as... what's the word I'm looking for? Accessible? Like, you know, there might not be as many options to get vaccinated, which is why I presumed. That's my fault. I do the data. Okay. Helping everything stay... Great, I can't do words right now. I lost the word. But yeah, helping everything stay in order. There we go. Get one more word because we're there. Fair, yeah. Alright. A little bit more and then I'm gonna move this hook back forward again. Which, yeah, I'm probably gonna need to spin the second strip, another strip of this. Or I could just take off the piece that I have there and not tear another strip. Either way would work fine. I met someone. Aww! Those are lovely. Boss, what? That is a name. Oh wait, oh, I get it. I get it. I get it. That is a nice play on words. Working with addressing, you find that's... Yes, yes, that's what I thought. Something like that. Took me a second. Entrepreneurship, life skills. Life skills are always nice to have, plus school, like public schools, heck, most schools in general, I feel like that's not a thing. I found a... Felix. I've tried to find ways to be involved with that. Like, yeah, projects and stuff like that are really, really great and very helpful to communities where not as many things are available in order to, you know, have options. So providing some are very, very great. But I know work like that can be difficult, given, you know, sometimes it's always hard to find just so many different trying to address that. Yeah, yeah. Or best ways to, well, to a degree, everybody has different opinions on things, so that's what makes it difficult. to get everybody to come together cohesively. So, it makes sense. But at the same time, arguably, that's the point of compromise and things of that degree. Come on. Wasn't drafting. Social media layers of youth violence and the behavior pattern of social. Yep. Of violence, all. Yeah. The anonymity of it too makes certain things more easy for them. To post that sort of thing up there. But has it? Yeah. That I can definitely see. Society is... Yep. Yep. Society is indeed complicated. Trying to get all the facets of things in order to understand why and how things work can be difficult at times, especially depending on your perspective on the matter at hand. Which is why it's helpful to have different perspectives available. Or what, yes, circumstances behind doing things and stuff. If the circumstances were different, who knows? Decisions might not end up being the way they are. Schools of thought, yeah. It's a lot. Like you said. Alright, it's getting bright again, so I have to turn the sky off. Oops. Come on. There we go. Let me check. Do I need to move that again? Maybe. Yeah, I probably need to move this hook again. Sorry. Paying attention to you, but also making sure I don't mess up. Doing the spins. Alright. There it is. Also, what twist am I doing? Z twist? No. That's S twist I'm doing. Alright, so... Well, I'll need to make sure I do Z twist. But it definitely sounds like you devote a lot of time to considering the factors and issues in regards to this. I work with, I usually don't do beads. I like doing a lot of stuff. Yeah. I like to craft a lot. Oh, airbrush. Airbrush is cool. But I'm trying not to do too many things. There wasn't enough time for, yeah, once you get in deep with certain crafts, it just leads to another thing. I should know. Because at first I used to crochet, then knit, and then, spin. One of the more recent ones, this has been like 2 years now? Yeah, about 2 years this year. If not 3. Since I started spinning. Weaving is the latest one. But I also chainmail, and also I do a bit of art too. Nothing fancy. Still learning on that. So yeah. Yeah, fabric does do a lot of space too. Found a nice Kenmore sewing machine. Someone's drawing bought the first. Ah! Foot pedal ones are nice too because it's hands-free. Just because it was, yeah. I've seen some pretty nice antique sewing machines. Sewing is not in my wheelhouse, but it is certainly a good skill to have. Just so, you know, you can mend your own clothes if need be. So it's like, say if something rips, you're a lot less inclined to have to need to go replace that by buying something. And sometimes I want to, yeah. To take up the space, yeah. I feel you on space. I had to go buy a slightly larger plastic tote in order to keep my fiber. I don't have a ton, but for my space, I needed to, you know, have somewhere to store it. So I try to make sure, you know, I use up some yarn and stuff. Uh-oh. Sorry. Yeah, I don't leave links available because people are weird, so, no worries. I can still see it in the bot. You're fine. Next time you want to post a link, ask me first so the bot doesn't eat you. I was gonna put, okay. I still got it here, so you're totally fine. Sorry about that. Oh. I've seen one of those. Or something similar, but that's, like, the typical, let's see, non-modern sewing machine that you really see when it comes to those. But that is really cool. Okay, that is a singer. Cause I know someone, or one or two somebodies who happen to own a singer. I know one of them's a reproduction, but like one of those 1920s singers, which look really, really pretty and are non-electric. And it's like you could flip the table and it's just like, yeah. It's like you flip down and it's a table too, so it's like you double your space. It's white print. Fair enough. Crap. Trying to draft that a little bit, because that's a little nub I don't need happening. You should be fine. But yeah, those flip top ones are really, really cool. Just the last name and competitor to singer again. Maybe. I'm honestly not that well versed. I know Brother has some sewing machines, but you know, they also do printers. Plus, given, you know, the past year and a half, a lot more people have gotten invested into having sewing machines. So that's also a thing. We got what? Well, I actually shouldn't be surprised, given, you know, was it them or Mitsubishi am I thinking of? Probably Mitsubishi. Yeah, yeah. It wasn't as expansive. I really don't have a there. Also, it looks like I need to go grab another piece of fiber. I have the thing next to me, so I don't need to get up or anything, but just have to stop the wheel a little bit here. And grab the Batt, which embroider shirts and hats for, ooh. And embroidery is very much a cool thing to be able to do. Alright, yeah, I could strip this in half. Which, this is what I was talking about, the that I have. This is like what I have left here, which is not terribly much. So you cut, you rip it into strips, and then you can tear those strips into pieces. Which I prefer to do it that way, so it's a little bit more manageable in my hands. Plus, the stuff, the sparkly stuff gets everywhere, so I try to keep as little of it out as possible, so I'm less inclined to be covered in sparkly. Because that is a thing. Alright, cool. And let's rip this piece. That should be fine. Yeah. And is that tinsel? No. Okay. Because some of these pieces have like a large glob of tinsel in places, and it's like on a Cricut and screen print. Wow, that is a lot. It would allow you to, yeah. Also, screen printing. I remember seeing that once. I think I know what that is. Like, where you do the thing and it's like you can put designs on, like, say, t-shirts and clothing of that sort. At least if I'm thinking of the correct process. I remember seeing that once in, like, middle school when I was doing art class. Alright, cool. Let's get back here. And create a blank. Ah! And yeah, the spread paint part is what I recall. Yeah, the screen print. That's what I was thinking of. Oh. You set up a station with 4 colors. Huh. And layer and do more color blends up to... Yeah, because once you start adding more colors, A, things can get muddy. B, it could create some potential problems. If you do anything way too complex. It's like on a wheel with 4 t-shirts loaded up and you rotate. Huh. That is really cool. Also, let's move this hook. Yeah, no, that I figured. Once it's 4, it's 90 degrees, because it would have to be 90-degree angles. There we go. After each print, it's like one station to do the volunteer white paint on your shirt and the other. Yeah, 60-degree angles. Yeah. 6 is 36, yeah. Yeah. Just would take up a... Yeah. That would make sense. Because that would be a lot more of a process the more stuff you start getting involved. For paint, yeah, that too. I hate waiting for paint to dry. But yeah, that's necessary because if you want things to remain the color they're supposed to be, it depends on what kind of paint. For like fabric, I imagine that could potentially vary. A lot easier than air, yeah. Because airbrushing, I feel like you would probably have to, like, depending on the density? Yeah, density. Well, rather, intensity of the airbrush, it probably would take a while to build the colors. I can digitally design some in graph fonts easier than by... Yeah, not using airbrush, but yeah, I can imagine that would require some practice. And a little bit more twist here. Also, yeah, I'm starting to auto turn this into sock weight, and I do not want it to be sock weight. Poster board to practice on for, yeah. Since those are inexpensive. Practice your own hand fonts. Ugh. That's one of those things you gotta be able to have a steady hand and at least have some practice in, say, if not calligraphy, what's the word for it? Darn it. Not typography. What is that word for it? What is the goddamn word for it? Also, oops, accidentally made chat disappear. Hand lettering. There we go. Thank you. Yeah, calligraphy, although I feel calligraphy is more like a specific style, but being able to do like different sorts of fonts, I feel like definitely that's more in the class of hand lettering. I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's definitely more of a cursive, yeah. And not all, you know, prints are in need of cursive. That's why I was trying to find a more inclusive terminology. And yeah, calligraphy is definitely more, let's see, not fancy. Well, technically fancy, but definitely more fluid. But yeah, I feel you're probably correct on that one. But yeah, more than likely that doesn't apply to non-cursive handwritten things. Do. Alright. Didn't realize I was getting break yet. Also, I might need to move my... I might need to move this thing. No, no one really does. In the day of typing. I tend to be more... My handwriting tends to be a bit more on the cursive side, but it's not printing for legibility on yeah. People tend to be more print, which, especially if I'm trying to go for someone who's not used to my handwriting, I try to go more for a print, but my default is more script-like. Alright. Come on. Thank you. It depends. Sometimes my handwriting's not that great, because as you said, everyone's more inclined to be, you know, typing on computers and that sort of thing, so writing things down is not as common as it used to be. If you have a, yeah. But that's one of those things, again, like anything, it takes practice. The last time I really wrote down anything on a constant basis, I would argue, is college. You know, given taking notes. just for, yeah. My hands tend to cramp a little bit because I'm not used to doing that. I'm more used to, you know, scripts, so when I try to print, it feels a bit cramped to me. Legible, yeah. Exactly the same thing. Yeah, that is a thing too. Alright, do I need to, yeah, I need to move the hook forward just a wee bit more. The way you hold your, yeah. Because the way you hold the pen for movement certainly alters. Alright. Cool. So you don't, like, go too far one way or another. Alright. I'm gonna do a wee bit more, and then I'm gonna go take my second break. Which, it should not be for long. I definitely need to get up and stretch. Versus straight up, yeah. Come on. Damn it. That a little bit. There we go. It is actually, Professor Layton. Which one? I think... I forget which OST this is. I'd have to double check. Oh, this is the last Spectre. Okay. I wasn't sure if this was still the first one, but that first one had stopped a little while ago. Yeah, the previous one was a Diabolical box. I have a couple of different playlists, but this one was exclusively all of the Professor Layton games soundtracks. So I enjoy the music. It's probably, yeah. Yeah. Exactly. I am very used to calling it OST when it comes to video games. I haven't played all of the Professor Layton games, but I do enjoy them. That's one of those I have to slowly get my hands on because they cost a wee bit, and I don't always have the funds to go buy one. I've played Curious Village and Diabolical Box. I forget what the third one is in the series. There's like 9? Although one of them is like an offshoot. Not involved with all of them. They come from the same company, so yeah. Which, actually, by the way, there's actually an Ace Attorney and Professor Layton crossover game. So... But I don't always fare. Sometimes that can get tedious, but I like the puzzles. Although, also at times they get a little bit frustrating when I can't figure them out immediately. Let's see, Professor Layton, I believe archaeologist? Yeah, archaeologist of some kind. Something along those lines, but, you know, solves mysteries, but, you know, Ace Attorney, you know, lawyer. So yeah, they're different professions, but they try to solve the cases. Or whatever mystery's at hand. And I think there's a detective in, Ace Attorney, Dick Gumshoe? The company that makes those games back on, like, yeah, I actually have my DS still. I still have mine. Because I never really played on it back in high school because I didn't have money for games. So, it is held on for a bit, but I also have a Switch Lite, so... in the inevitability that, you know, the Professor Layton games make their way over to the Switch, I will probably buy it. Oh, so I did say I was gonna go on break, didn't I? I'm just like blabbing, and it's like, you should probably take a break, you know? Alright, I'm gonna stop. Has a different... Okay. But yeah, I know Ace Attorney and, you know, Professor Layton are definitely made by the same company, so those two are definitely, or at least might have some people in common. I don't know if it's that... Yeah, I don't know that one. Off the top of my head, anyway. I could have heard of that at some point. Alright. And slightly annoyed. Alright, I'm gonna go take my second break. I'll be back in about 10 minutes if you want to play. Alright, so let me get back over here. Hi again. Also, welcome to anybody who potentially came in during the break going on here. I'm just gonna get back to spinning the floof because there is nothing to add, but anybody who potentially got in, I'm currently just spinning some fiber on my wheel, which if you want to know what wheel I currently possess, you can do !wheel, and that would supply you some information along with a link. To where I got the wheel from, although this time I had gotten off Kickstarter, so I got it at a less of a price in comparison to what it currently sells for in video game. Yeah, I'd understand. What? No. What? Sorry, Dad was over there. Yeah, the joys of living at home. But yeah, I could also see that. That would probably not do it for me. I don't like having stressful video games. I'm personally more in the lane of like things like Stardew Valley, and although I do also play, what is it, Naruto once. Although I've only played third and the fourth one. Although I've not gotten fully through the story on the fourth one. Okay, is that us? Is that still this game? Yep, still Last Spectre. Okay. So I missed the song that I like out of here. Yeah, I play a bit of that, and by a bit I mean, I have played over 700 hours. Ooh, okay, I need to move this hook here. And yeah, about there. About there should be fine. There. Not everyone's gonna like, you know, the same thing, so makes sense. Yeah, come on. Oh yeah, I'm spinning about fingering weight again. Whoops. Oh well. Okay, this is not showing as bad as the other color, so yay for that, at least covering it up. Although I think there's still more of that pink color. Next time and chill. Yep. Very much the same thing for me. Although, I also have played Hades, although I haven't touched that in a little while, just because that's slightly stressful to me, too. I don't hate it, but it's slightly stressful. That's one of those, basically keep failing until you win. I played, I do not know that game. On the heart, nope. Yeah, no. Things on the heart is difficult, so you tend to be like, nope. Full on nope. Unless, like, I've gotten, you know, real comfortable with the game, that easy mode tends to not do it for me. And fine, I'll up it a little bit, but yeah. I am not one for going hard mode on things. But yeah, I do not know risk of rain. Let me Google that. Let's see. Google. What is that? A chaos alien planet. A chaotic, wow. By fighting through hordes of frenzy monsters with your friends or on your own. Ah, okay. That sounds like a lot. Kind of reminds me of what's that game? Halo-ish? Except, you know, Halo, you're kind of fighting each other. But it sounds like it has the same sort of feel. I've played with friends like once. That was terrible. Shooter that isn't too long of a script. Yeah. This has gotten to the fiber. Not drafting fast enough. Well, I would say it's complete. Okay, there. It's just PvE. Alright. Solo or cooperative. Okay. Yeah, I saw it said by yourself with or with other people, so it makes sense. Also procedural based third person class. So basically it's like get the heck out of there. Also, this needs to draft a wee bit. Powers in the game that empower character all the time, but how a character plays chances of roguelike. Ah. One of those. Level, enemy, type changes each level. Oh. So you kind of have to adapt. From what I think. Definitely on the dungeon crawler, because you kind of have to work your way up from, you know, Tartarus all the way up to, you know, all the way through the levels, and then to get out of there, but yeah. Yeah, I'd say procedural, so yeah, that's arguably accurate. Because Zagreus is basically like, I'm kind of sick of this place. I would like to leave. Hades is like, don't think so, kid. And basically he has to fight his way out, which you can get some weapons. You have to earn via keys and stuff and get some power-ups, which you can max up on. And it also has, like, multiple endings from what I recall. So basically, if you play the game one time, you're not going to get through to everything. Also, you know, there are some things you have to get that'll get you more, you know, tiers, which is kind of the currency. But yeah, also kind of stressful. I've thought about streaming it, and then I was just like, I'm not sure my computer will be able to handle me streaming it, because I have PC version. I got gifted the PC version, but I also have it on my Switch. I mean, Diablo 2 with modern different graphics, and you upgrade over time. Yeah. Not played Diablo. I've seen people playing Diablo 3, but I have not played Diablo myself. There. Uh-oh. Yeah, it's too thin. Crap. I do want to eventually play it through. I got through to... What is it? Where the Good People Go, because this is based off of Greek mythology. In some points. I would turn it on, but given all the stuff I'm streaming, that would, well, using to stream, my laptop would likely protest. I don't think I might upgrade my RAM to 16. At some point. I have 12. Because this laptop was an upgrade from my previous one. I only had 8, which, you know, that is like the bare minimum when you're streaming things. So it looks like I need to pre-draft a little bit because it's starting to get a little bit annoying. Yeah. I'm pretty sure this can upgrade to like 16. So it's certainly an option, but it's one of those. Yeah, that's in part why I got this, because I would like the ability to, you know, up stuff like that if I have, you know, the funds to do so. But also, I'd probably want to, you know, upgrade to a solid states drive, because that'll speed things up a little bit. Jane! Hello, hello. How you doing? I'm here spinning the floofs. How are you? How goes Saturday so far? I knew. Oh yeah, graphics cards. Oof. Trying to buy a good one of those is like getting kicked in the teeth. I'll be real. From what I've seen price-wise. Although I don't need one, thankfully. But I know that one's certainly more expensive. Yeah, that's just making it worse. The crypto mining. Yeah. I'm not fond of cryptocurrency, I'll tell you that much. It's one of those things where I'm just like, nah, I don't want it, nor do I care about it. You guys can keep that. I use... Oof. SML Afterburner. I'm well, did it. I know you finished the sock, so what kind of project are you working on, knitting-wise? Oh, yeah. Hopefully you did not. Because that obviously would not be a fun time. The new Battlefield 2. I'm not sure about that game. Like, I've not heard of it personally. And you couldn't quite manage. Yeah. That was the annoying part about things getting outdated. It's just, yeah, I personally have not peaked, like, at this current moment, but I know it's, like, it is not a fun time. Not one moment. There we go. Oh, wait. There we go. Yeah, I didn't draft properly on that bit, so it's looking weird. But it's fixed. Yeah, thankfully, I have never needed to replace a graphics card, so luckily I've not needed to do that. And I know a solid-state drive required car manufacturer 3 to 5 years prior. Yeah, because their graphics are, like, very, very intense from what I've seen. Yeah. So you usually need a definitely more up-to-date sort of thing. Also, anybody here would like to check out my social media and other links like my Etsy, totally feel free to go check out that link tree where it has all the links and stuff. Also, I realized I did not mention, what's its face? Nitpick/WeCrochet is having a sale up until Monday because that's Indigenous people, yay! Along with, you know, Canadian Thanksgiving. So basically you can get another 20% off yarn. Solid state aren't so bad. And they make it, yeah, I've heard that. But unfortunately, I do not have the funds currently to do so. That's one of those things I'm gonna have to wait on. So I will see on that. I know the... Do I want a 2 terabyte or 1 terabyte? Probably be better if I have a 2 terabyte, maybe. Because this current hard drive I have is 2 terabyte, which I wasn't looking for a 2 terabyte when I got this, because 1 terabyte's fine for me. But 2 terabyte is certainly more roomier. But definitely, yeah, that's what I thought. I was about to, no. No. Yeah, 500 gigabytes, nope. I tend to save VODs on here. I do clear them every so often, which I put them on the old hard drive, which was a 1 terabyte, luckily, because my previous laptop, near the end of last year, I tried to replace the battery, fried the motherboard like it was KFC, so yeah, that was fun. I was without a laptop for like 3 months. But luckily the hard drive was fine. On one of the older gen. So smaller cause the prices were, yeah, that's usually how it works once things are newer. They tend to be stupid expensive, but once it gets refined, the prices tend to, you know, level out. Yeah. Alright, I think I need to move this. Yeah, I think I need to move this hook a little bit. What's this? Get some. Well, the same company is mostly manufacturing. Huh. Also, oops. Stupid headphone. Please stay on there. A Western Digital, Seagate, etc. only made hard drives. It's the spinning. Yeah. Moving the hook again. Not everyone is, well, they figured out how to do the thing. It's usually how it works. 1 or 2 companies start doing the thing, and then everybody's just like, how do we get the thing to do? What do you want it to do? And then it's just open field to everybody. It's kind of insane. Although it's not something that happens overnight. It takes some time. But it does feel like it happens overnight after a while. Not sure what OCZ is. Not familiar with that brand specifically. Oh, company RAM. Ah. And then moved into, yeah. Also, I got some more. My throat's starting to itch. I think it's mainly because I've been talking a bit. Good quality. Okay. Ah, Toshiba, that's why. Okay. That makes sense. They're a Toshiba offsuit. Just now looking. Again, that is always a possibility. Gonna need to charge this lamp. I mean, given how Toshiba is, that is certainly a possibility. Or a secondary. I think it might be secondary company based on what my Google results said, but again, they also could have bought them out. Has been a reliable player. Fair. Come on. Do. Like I said, don't think I'm gonna make it all the way back to the front. Panasonic, Toshiba, Sony were usually the three. If buying retro or modern items. Well, they're certainly all well-known brands, so it makes sense. I don't know if Samsung has gotten any better. I mean, they certainly are more firmly footed in the phone game than anything else, but I know they also have SSD drives. I don't know, I haven't, like, put a solid, stake in where I'd get a SSD from. Which, depending on how much I get for my next payout, whenever that may be, I might use that money to get myself an SSD. As in, like, the device stylings. I usually have a weather phoner. There. That is entirely fair. That is certainly a tactic they like to pull. And sometimes I feel like they don't give you a ton. Just a price. Okay, cool. Definitely noted. Alright. $30%, yeah. But sometimes you have to look around for it, because sometimes cheaper price does not always mean quality, but There's always an exception to that. Alright. I'm gonna fill that little gap I've noticed right there. Oops. That got a little too thin on me. Luckily, that's one of those things I can easily fix. With all the specials, yeah, to get a good price, yeah. Because I know Black Friday and Christmas, especially after Christmas, they try to get rid of, you know, of their extra inventory, which also is helpful. It depends. Plus, again, I'm not in a hurry, so that's one of those things I could certainly wait to do, so shopping around is certainly something I will be doing. So I will definitely keep all of that in mind. Yeah, come on. Please draft. Thank you. There we go. All twisted got into there and it was not drafting. I should have just paused the wheel and just untwisted it enough so that it would draft. Computer RAM. Fair. Again, things I don't really need, like, immediately. So it's like, I can wait and do the thing. SSD you're working with or more. That is definitely good. Ow. Got my finger on the flyer briefly. It's a good thing I don't use this thing at top speed. I would probably break a hand. I learned to try to keep my hand away from this thing when it's spinning. A smaller version of this, thankfully, even at top speed, is not harmful to one's hands. But given this goes 800 RPM faster than that one, yeah. More inclined to hand damage. Trust me. Yeah, trust me, it does, because where we started, I think I was like right here at the start of the stream, not on this layer, like the layer down here. And basically we've gotten from there to back here in the middle, so in the past 2 hours and 40 minutes, we have definitely gotten a ways away. It's just difficult to tell when you're looking at this angle, because it doesn't look like a lot until, you know, you look at it from other perspectives. Yeah, we're getting to the end of that piece, so I need to add one more piece. And that will probably be the last piece, given, you know, I have about 20 minutes, but I can go over if I'd like. Which, if I do, it probably won't be by much. Unless you do that too. That is entirely possible. I have not done that with the bobbin, but whenever I post my, you know, progress on, say, Instagram or whatever have you, then you notice, you know, it's starting to pile up. Alright. Draft that bit. It's a good thing I pulled that piece. Alright, and move this a little bit forward. Okay, I'd let that go for a little bit too long. That piece right there in the middle is not as even. That's the one thing I kind of still struggle with, is having my bobbins be even, but given I tend to put as much yarn as I can get onto a bobbin, that usually evens itself out in the end, so that's helpful. And honestly, it doesn't really matter in the end as long as, you know, my spinning is consistent enough, thus the yarn. This thing is actually a gauge. Oops. I forgot how close that was. And tells you how thick the yarn happens to be. I got this recently, which, my tendency is to spin about 40 wraps per inch, which that is the smallest available, notch here. Which you usually want wraps per inch to be able to tell, if you're plying, how thick the yarn will be once plied, and, you know, what kind of project you can use it for. So, you know, given 40 wraps per inch, that is really thin. Although you can spin thinner than that, like lace weight thin. But I'm usually just above lace weight. Yeah, this is about me weight for, like, say, three ply sock yarn. But if you're able to spin thicker than that, like, say about 25, 20, you'd probably get, like, say, sport weight or DK, depending on how much you ply against each other. But I more so tend to spin about sock weight yarn, although it's supposed to be spinning a little bit thicker than, you know, 40 wraps per inch, but my hands tend to autopilot and do the thing at that thickness, so we'll see what happens. Or is I, yes. Because, you know, if you have a lot less fiber, obviously if you try to spin thickly, you won't end up with much, but if you spin thinly, you'll end up with a lot more yarn. Which, that yarn right there on the lower left-hand side on the screen, that is a 4-ply, and I wager that might be actually about, say, if not heavy fingering, I imagine about just about sport weight, like maybe a light sport weight. Because again, it's really hard for me to not automatically spin how I normally spin. So getting myself to alter my process enough to affect the thickness is sometimes difficult. I have to be mindful about it to get it to work how I want it to work. Which, mostly I tend to spin wool, but there are times I spin, you know, acrylic yarn, which I've done that like twice now. But mostly I'm in like the wool area. Given my propensity to make socks and so on and so forth. Also, appreciate that stuff sticking up. Let's see. I think I'm gonna need to move this hook a little bit. Yeah, pretty soon. Also, the thinner you spin, the more twist you need. So, that's also a thing. If you're trying to spin out a little bit thicker, you'll need less twist. Because you can over twist. But honestly, once you're applying, it tends to take out a little bit of the twist. Also, where the heck is... Yeah, I'll just turn it off there. Where'd my foot pedal go? Oh, there's foot pedal. There's foot pedal. Because I couldn't find where the foot pedal was. There. Took my... I really would hate, you know. Well, more like I would love, you know, Instagram be its own thing rather than belonging to Facebook. Which, hilariously, that outage that happened the other day, I completely missed that because I tend to only be on for like a couple of minutes, and that's usually only in the evenings. So I missed that whole blackout thing. Didn't even know about it until I saw it mentioned. I was like, well. They have no help department. It's a good thing I've not needed help. Protest and maybe saying, not sure what those are. Someone report. If you got reported, I feel like you would get informed about that. At least I think so. I don't know, I've never been reported, so I have no clue. Personally, if that would be the case. Maybe it could have been like, hey, you say it too much. You don't... not off the top of my head, because I'm terrible with acronyms sometimes. So... maybe I heard about it, but I don't believe so off the top of my head, no. Alright, cool. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna need to charge this thing, because it's starting to do the thing. Does this battery have enough charge to keep this thing going? Maybe. Hold on. Which I do need to get. To Urban Dictionary. Give me a sec. Let me permit you so the bot does not eat you. Okay, why are you not letting me... Come on, is there? No, not there. Hold on, I have to go into the bot, don't I? Oh, that's stupid. I swore there was a button there usually to permit, unless they took that off, really. Yeah, they probably took that off. There you go. You should be cool now. Alright, hello. Why are you not... There it is. I didn't want it bright, but I want to make sure it didn't die on me before the end of this. Oh, it's on this one. Urban Dictionary. Oh! Oh! That's what that means. That would make sense. That would make sense. Yeah, I swear to God, I have not heard that term ever. But again, I'm sometimes not in the know about terms and protests. Ah, yeah, that could have either been reported or, you know, might have gotten generally flagged, like they might have had a system in place to flag the term. And that likely might have been why that happened. considering how, you know, the protests were being portrayed as. Not exactly a shocking result. Not one that I agree with. But I can certainly see that happening. Really? I'm already near the end of this piece? I'm gonna need to get another piece. Crap. Luckily that's fine, but I was not expecting me to go through another piece again. I thought it would be the last piece I need today. That was a lie. Cool. A hashtag even if a local group. Yeah. It made it easier for. Yeah. And make it like, hey, they're probably a problem and blah blah blah. Yeah. Not sure how. There are certainly a large amount of possibilities on how it turned out. Come on, I needed to draft a little bit. Because I had the. Yeah. That seriously sucks, though. I'd say maybe make a new one if you really want to, but that's obviously up to you. But honestly, really, Facebook is like the last person to really talk about integrity, given all the stuff that has come out, basically, where it's like, hey, or a reflection of it, yeah, the good and the bad. And plus, the internet kind of makes it more. You're able to. Oh! The history and. Yeah, that would make sense. Uh-oh. Should I? Yep, I should have moved this a little while ago. I was autopilot again. I should stop doing that. Oops. Come on. I just need that to do the thing. Also, I need to make that a little less fast. It's going a little bit too fast for me. I started nice. Or general, yeah. Apparently been, yeah, it's a bit of work to get on there and post stuff. I tend to post like once a week, but it's really hard to keep a posting schedule, I'll be real honest. Half personal, half artist platforms kind of runs against each other. And plus, yeah, I already do that with my art one and my yarn related one. It's like Etsy shop and stuff and things, plus personal projects also. Time for me to get one last piece here. Where is it? Really did not think I was gonna need another piece here. That was a lie. Alright. Also, I just realized you had been here before, but I think you're just not here often, which that is totally fine. Also, did you change your name? I'm not sure. I could be completely wrong. That was just the fact that you're not here often. Could be one or the other. Oh, okay, yeah. I streamed on the... Ah, okay, okay. I wasn't sure. Because I sometimes have a very difficult time keeping track, plus, you know, people change name on here, so it's like, I'm not always 100% sure. I think you popped up one time when I was playing a game, probably a word game. If not words on stream, probably when I was playing, Hoyle games. More than likely. Hoyle puzzle games. Oh! Probably not Words with Friends. Words with Friends is Facebook, and I don't play that here. Is where I've discovered some... Oh, okay. Whoops. I should really not jump on things when people haven't finished their sentences. My bad. Where it goes from that. Words on stream. Yeah, okay. Okay. I was like, Words with Friends. You're fine. I just presumed I should know better. But yeah, that makes sense. Which, I should probably play that next week. I haven't played that in a while. Just because, you know, it is hard for me to pull away. But it's fun. But it's just very hard to get me to not continue forever. So I make sure not to play it that often. Plus, it certainly allows me to learn some new words I would have never thought of. Also, you should definitely get back into streaming again if you have, you know, the opportunity and space and all that stuff. And time. Because, yeah, I like streaming, but sometimes it can be draining. Remember that time I was doing part-time and it was like, no, I will not be streaming when I do that. No, thank you. And figure out that, yeah. That is fair. I literally remember when I first got started, it was like, hey, let's do crafts, and then jumped on to other things. Oh wow, jump, okay. Yeah, that's fair. Some music production stream at one point. Beyond Music Fair. I mean, it technically didn't have to be like a regular thing, but obviously whatever works for you is what matters. Not always my favorite streaming option. Fair. Come on. Alright, we're just at the 3-hour mark. I'm just gonna do like maybe a little bit more spinning, and then I'm gonna probably see if I can host somebody. I know there's at least some crafting people on. Beadwork in some ways as well as fair. You kind of have to be on and, you know, talk to the people. I mean, there's some days where it's just like, don't really want to do that. Like, was it last weekend? Or was it the week before last now? Where I was just like, I don't feel like peopling. I will not be doing this today. Which I hate having to cancel, because that's the one thing where it's like, you gotta keep your schedule. But at the same time, it's like, I know I'm not gonna do partner or any other crap. Or what the, yeah. Like, what is the point to all this? We're actually pretty close to the people interaction, pushing brand, socializing, meeting people. Yeah. Alright, yeah. That needed to draft a little bit more. Environmental stuff. Yeah. I also tend to talk about what comes to mind. Sometimes I might not have, like, you know, a plethora of topics, and other days, you can't really shut me up, so. It depends. Big streams, yeah, no. Or middle-sized streams, yeah. Big streams is, like... Big streams are a lot. I personally have not been into terribly many big streams, so I think I might stop right here. Which, I think we've done a good chunk of spinning today. Yeah, we're so close to the front of the bobbin again. It would take me no time, but I'm probably gonna leave it here. Group directed combo, big streams have. Emoji driven. Yep. That sounds about right. I'm gonna check on my phone and see who is live. I know it's a good chunk of people who are live here. So I certainly have some options. Also, oh goody, coastal flooding. What I always wanted. Sounds fun. So I guess it means it's gonna rain today. Cool. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. Where are we? Okay, it looks like she's cooking. She might be heading off, who knows? Game, art. Alright. Beater and bordering a hot air balloon, I think? Yep. Okay, that looks cool. So I think we're gonna go there. Which... did I close? Yes, I closed, because I'm a dumbass. Also, I accidentally clicked on the stream, which was not the point I wanted to make. Alright. Aw, thank you. I guess that's my general vibe. I try to keep it chill. Like, I get that a lot, and I'm just like... I feel like I'm honestly sometimes... not as chill as I appear to be, but I like to keep it as chill as possible. Because there are especially some times where everyone needs it, because, you know, things have been a lot. Plus, sometimes people like to have some background while they're doing other things, which that is completely fair, because I lurk on streams as well, so I don't mind whether people lurk. Also, I'm gonna turn this tab so things don't start screaming at me. Oh, James Bond, hello. There it is. Alright. Controlling referencing someone's own controlling move without turning it up too much. Fair. There are certainly more pumped up streams, which, I'm not against them. But it just depends whether or not I'd want to, you know, be a part of that. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, let's do the thing. And other times I'm like, meh, don't feel like being here. I'd rather not. Also, hi, face again. Alright, so we did the spins. Also, Fairy Wings, again, thank you again for the sub and those gift subs. I very much appreciate it. We are now at 21 out of 50 sub points. which that's just for unlocking the tier 1 emote slot, which again, totally fine if we don't unlock it now. This just happens to be a good time, which I think it's like another week or two until I go down in sub points again. I think. Usually try not to blab about these things. Yeah, 24, so yeah, about another, a little over 2 weeks. I have until it just crashes down a little bit, which that is completely fair. But again, no one's responsibility, not required. I appreciate the help if we do get there, but if we do, we do. We don't, we don't. That is completely fine. But yeah, thank you guys for hanging out with me. I will be back again Tuesday. Yeah, should be here. Might be, no, not spinning yarn. What will I be doing? I might work on sub-squares, because I need to do those, because kind of have more of those to work on. I kind of have a bit of a backlog that I need to get working on. Kind of my fault. Oops. But yes, thank you guys, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye! Also, totally feel free to stay here if you want to go watch Vanishing Pearl